In 1971, the United States made a decision that quietly changed the global economy forever. It was supposed to be temporary. It was meant to protect the American dollar. Instead, that single decision reshaped how money works for everyone. Most Americans were never taught this story in school. Yet its consequences still affect your savings, your salary, and the price of everything you buy today. Today, you're going to hear the real story behind one of the most important economic decisions in modern American history. To understand what happened, we need to go back to a time when money was not just paper. For decades, the US dollar was backed by gold. Every dollar represented real, physical value. If you held a dollar, you could exchange it for gold, and that rule created trust. After World War II, the United States emerged as the strongest economic power in the world. Other countries trusted the dollar so much that they linked their own currencies to it. The dollar became the foundation of the global financial system. At first, this system worked extremely well. International trade expanded, the American economy grew rapidly, and living standards improved across the country. But beneath the surface, a serious problem was forming. As the U.S. economy expanded, government spending increased dramatically. The country fought expensive wars overseas, invested heavily in social programs at home, and to support all of this growth, more money was printed. The problem was simple but dangerous. The number of dollars in circulation grew faster than the gold reserves backing them. Foreign governments began to notice this imbalance. They realized they could exchange their US dollars for American gold. And slowly, they began to do exactly that. Gold started leaving the United States at an alarming pace. If this continued, America risked losing its gold reserves and its position as the world's economic leader. Something had to change. In August of 1971, President Richard Nixon addressed the nation in a televised speech. What he announced shocked financial markets around the world. The United States would no longer allow foreign governments to exchange dollars for gold. This moment became known as the Nixon Shock. The decision was presented as temporary. Officials claimed it was necessary to protect the economy and stabilize the financial system. But once the connection between the dollar and gold was broken, everything changed. For the first time, the U.S. government could print money without being limited by physical gold reserves. The gold standard was never restored. At first, the decision appeared to work. The immediate crisis was avoided, markets stabilized, and confidence returned. But over time, the long-term consequences began to appear. Without gold limiting the money supply, inflation increased. Prices began rising faster than wages, and savings lost value year after year. What one generation could afford with a single income became far more difficult for the next. Homes became more expensive, education costs rose dramatically, and healthcare prices continued to climb. These changes did not happen overnight. They happened gradually and quietly over decades. But when you add them together, the cost is enormous. Economists estimate that Americans have lost trillions of dollars in purchasing power since the end of the gold standard. Today, the US dollar is backed not by gold, but by trust. Trust in the government, trust in the economy, and trust that the system will continue to function. This system allows flexibility and fast responses to economic crises, but it also creates instability. Debt grows more easily. Financial bubbles form, and economic crashes hit harder and more often. Most people never connect these modern problems to a decision made more than 50 years ago, but they are directly linked. Once the rules of money changed, there was no easy way back. The decision to abandon the gold standard was not made with bad intentions. It was a gamble. A short-term solution that created long-term consequences. It solved an immediate problem, but quietly reshaped the American economy and the lives of millions of people. And the most surprising part of all is this. Almost nobody talks about it. If you enjoy deep historical stories that explain how the world really works, consider subscribing to the channel.